Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the first of many of our Intact Insurance webinars aimed to provide you with some really valuable information to help you sell our commercial lines proposition to your customers. Firstly, before we get into the details, so my name's Alan Houston. I'm the Vice President of Sales for our UK commercial lines business. Now, this morning, I'm definitely not the main act. I'm joined today with some of my colleagues to provide you with this exciting information. Jack Geddes to give you some more detail around our eTrade proposition. Alina Shatton from our claims team in terms of our claims service, and Steve Scott in terms of our regions proposition. Now, before I hand you over to Jack in the next minute or so, I just want to give you a little bit more context in terms of Intact Insurance here in the UK. Can you believe it was almost 4.5 years ago that Intact acquired RSA, and then on the back of that, it was a little over 2 years ago that RSA purchased NIG. And whilst we've made significant progress over those 4 and a bit years, we're definitely not standing still, and we have a huge ambition to double the business, both in our commercial and specialty lines businesses by 2030, and ultimately be the best in everything that we do. So the news, of course, last month, we're a few weeks on already since we rebranded to Intact Insurance. You know, it was a special moment for us as we truly become part of that one global organisation, and a global organisation that's really underpinned by the values that drives everything we do every single day. And the rebrand itself, it's absolutely not about changing the colour above the door from different shades of purple to red. It's about providing you with that consistent service that you deserve. It's about finding ways in which we can say yes more times than we say no. And it's about taking on your feedback and constantly improving every single day. But we also recognise, right, they're just words, and we have to absolutely deliver, and we believe that we absolutely will. We also recognise that Intact Insurance is new to many of you. It was new to me 4.5 years ago, and that's why it's really important that we provide you with the information that you need in order to sell the RSA or former RSA and NIG, now Intact Insurance proposition to your customers. One final thing from me before I hand over to Jack Geddes to get us started. You will notice on the screen in front of you there is a section for questions. So please, throughout the next 20 or so minutes, take the opportunity to ask any questions, because at the end we will all come on screen and take the time to answer as many questions as we possibly can. So thank you again for joining us. I'm going to pass over now to Jack Geddes.
Hi, my name's Jack Geddes and I'm the eTrade product lead on the One Commercial programme. And over the past year, we've been working on the solid foundations of our NIG and RSA businesses to bring you the next generation of e-trading as we move forward as Intact Insurance. We have over 15 fully e-tradable products in the market, and we're looking to enhance 5 of those products: property owners, shops, office, business combined, and tradespeople and professionals. All of our enhancements are built on market research, competitor analysis, and real broker usage information. There'll be wider limits and broader eligibility, but don't just take my word for it. De facto have independently rated all of our new Intact Insurance products 5 stars. So you can be sure that your customers are getting a quality product. We're working incredibly hard with our technology partners to launch our properties and shops products this year. And just last week, if you're an Actress user, you should have received a document pack that includes our new policy wordings, policy summaries, our target market statements, and our claims proposition. And just to give you a flavour for each of those products, Our properties products, we can quote up to 25 premises. From a sums insured perspective, up to 1.5 mil for residential, up to 5 mil for mixed portfolios and blocks of flats, and up to 10 mil for commercial premises. And talking of commercial occupants, we'll now quote for up to 75% of the selectable commercial occupants across the software houses. On our shops products, we've widened our trade eligibility, and for all of our hair and beauty risks, we'll now offer treatment risk. We'll offer machinery breakdown and loss of licence as standard, and we've looked to standardise our excesses across our eTrade products. That means that for goods in transit and for money, we've completely removed the excess. These great enhancements are not just for new customers. Next year, we'll be looking to migrate your existing customers onto our new products. But don't worry, we won't make you rebroke all of that business. This will be a technology-led migration. And we'll ensure continuity of policy numbers where possible. We'll also be launching our Intact Insurance Broker Portal, and that will be your one-stop shop for all of our eTrade products, as well as the existing policies you have now, wherever they currently sit. You can expect the same great tools like our trade and flood search tools, but we've also looked to make improvements by making the recent activities and advanced search tools more prominent, meaning you can get to where you need to go much quicker. So great products and a competitive price are obviously needed, but we need to wrap that up with a brilliant service proposition. So you'll get the same great service for your existing customers, but we'll have a dedicated team in our Glasgow operation for our enhanced Intact Insurance products. There'll also be product-specific emails, and there'll be live chat available from day one on the new products, so you can choose how you want to contact us. We're also going to be trialling a new dedicated support number for non-underwriting queries. Our products are designed to give you an answer first time. However, where you need to trade with our underwriters, we've launched an enhanced license framework to give them the empowerment to give you a decision first time when you speak to them. We're also simplifying our documentation to offer you complete fulfillment through the software house journey. So no more pesky URLs to get your policy wordings. As well as the excellent support that you'll get from our operation, there'll also be proactive support from our broker sales managers. We'll be aiming to have a big presence out in the market when we launch. And I'll leave you with an ask from myself. So when these new products launch, if you can provide us with any feedback on them, be that constructive or positive, then that will all get fed into a central team, of which I'm a part of, and we'll be looking to act and respond on all of that feedback, because we want to make sure that we deliver the best possible products we can as quickly as we can to you and your customers. Thank you, and I hope you're excited about the next generation of e-trading with Intact Insurance. And I'll pass you over to Alina.
Thank you, Jack. Hi, everyone. My name is Alina Shatton, Vice President of Claims, and I'm here to talk to you about a new approach to claims management for brokers, one which brings ease and expertise to our customer journey. In terms of how we will achieve this, we plan to do three things: enhance our claims proposition and service, streamline our digital experience, and deliver extensive experience and expertise. So let's go to the next slide and deep dive into each area. First of all, enhancing our claims proposition and service throughout the life cycle of the claim. So as soon as your claim is submitted, we will acknowledge receipt and confirm the policy cover within 24 hours. We then assign your claim to a specific handler and agree next steps with you, again within 24 hours. That handler will then keep you updated regularly as your claim progresses. We will also work with you to minimize the business impact of the event related to your claim, which includes quantifying loss mitigation actions to the business owner. In addition, we coordinate Intact-approved professionals and suppliers to deliver the best outcome possible to resolve your claim. And finally, we settle your claim as quickly as possible, adopting an approach that's both pragmatic and commercially focused. Throughout the claims experience, we will provide you with great claims service, from answering the phones within 20 seconds to dealing with the majority of actions and activities on file within 5 days. And we're constantly improving the service we offer you, Only this year we have improved the speed of payments from days to hours, and next year we will also speed up the service from the 5 days SLA I've just mentioned. So that from the beginning to end, we will aim to make the claims experience a smooth one for you and to your customers. So moving on to the next slide, we'll now talk about streamlining our digital experience and how that is part of our proposition. So we've now moved to a single digital claims platform for both commercial, motor, and property claims. This means that our customers receive a fast, streamlined experience that includes cloud-enabled version of Guidewire claim system, which is a market-leading claim system in the UK. We are the only UK insurer on the latest version of the system in the cloud, and this gives us a strategic advantage over our competitors in terms of speed, agility, ability to make system changes, and also evolve and innovate as we go. So from a digital portal perspective, which is enabled by Guidewire, this creates a single front door into our claims operation, and it is best in class. Although only launched this year, it is already receiving great feedback from you, our brokers, and from our customers. Further digital adoption is one of our top priorities for 2026. We plan to improve as we go. This will give you and our customers the ability to contact us and register claims 24/7. Then you can also easily receive claim status updates and speed up the claims process overall by using this technology. But our investment in digital and in technology doesn't stop here. In 2026, we will be focusing on rolling out Guidewire to our liability and marine claims. And then in terms of further investments, we're focusing on AI in 2026 as well. And we're aiming to implement solutions which make life easier for our handlers, enabling our claims experts to spend more time supporting you and your customers. Which brings me to the third area of focus for claims, the experience and expertise of our global team. So let's move to the next slide. We have over 600 experts across our teams covering property, motor, liability, marine, engineering, construction, renewable energy, and professional financial risks. We also have in-house expert loss adjusting teams for commercial property and major loss. And finally, we're in the process of designing and building a supply chain offering that meets the needs of our commercial customers, specifically dedicated for commercial and specialty lines. This year, we have changed our motor supply chain to be more relevant to commercial lines clients, and we're working to create more legal capability in our estate moving on to next year, and also looking at reviewing our property supply chain offering into next year as well. So lots on the agenda for claims, and I'll now pass over to Steve.
Okay, thank you, Alina, and good morning, everybody. I'm Steve Scott, a Vice President at Intact Insurance, with specific responsibility for the UK regions. And what I hope you take away from the next 5 minutes or so is the degree of commitment, the confidence, the focus and the ambition we have for the UK regional model. So then, from a regional perspective, the coming together of RSA and NIG under the Intact brand is already more than the sum of the parts. RSA at $1 billion UK premium was a solid performer, focused on higher premium work and very conscious of catastrophe loss volatility. That led to a highly selective approach, if I'm honest. NIG at 500 million simply lacked scale and spent too long protecting the reinsurer as a result of that. Of course, bringing these two businesses together meant we had an appetite for everything from tradesman liability policies through to subsea power installations, from shop policies through to retail giants. But more than that, importantly, becoming part of a global P&C insurer with a market cap exceeding 50 billion, it brings a very different perspective on risk and on capital. As I've said, we've always written large. In fact, so far in 2025, we've written 3 of the UK's largest retailers, we've written a top 3 utility supplier, and we've written the UK arm of Europe's largest electrical supply company. But now, rather than, dare I say, take a cautious approach, typically using FAC reinsurance to protect the balance sheet, Intact Insurance are willing to retain far more of that risk in-house. This reduces expense, which then gets factored into our pricing models, benefiting the customer and evidenced in our conversion stats, frankly. Outside of these super large wins, the region they've written more than 100 policies, each over £100,000 in premium, and that's across motor trade, property owners, fleet, commercial combined. Some cases, it's fair to say, the ones with significant overseas exposure sit more comfortably in our global specialty business. And there where our capability spans over 180 territories. Every region now has direct access into global specialty. And as our customers, the businesses grow and they mature, we now offer a seamless handoff process into that space. I would say, just for context, the UK regions will write close to 120 million of new business across 2025, and that's despite some pretty challenging market conditions. If I turn to service capability, well, we're re-platforming the commercial business over the next 12 months. That's a multi-million investment with front-end data ingestion and streamlined processes all the way through to a single policy administration system, which, well, that will deliver a better experience for our colleagues and a much faster service for you, the brokers. This is being used right now in a live environment, and we're training it out over commercial combined through November and early December. As we wait for the full impact of that system rollout, we've already made some changes, refocusing and simplifying. So now we're quoting on 40% of the inquiries we receive in the regions, with an ambition to take that to 50% in 2026. In the existing business space, we're completing 87% of the underwriting tasks within 5 business days. And as of June, 97% of underwriting decisions can now be taken locally. On product development, well, alongside re-platforming and beginning December this year, every one of our core products will be refreshed in a rolling program concluding late in 2026. We're using a customer-centric best-of-breed approach there, delivering the level of protection your clients would hope and expect to see. Alongside our partnership with the University of Hull, which looks at ways to help protect businesses from the threat of flooding, we've launched a PI policy designed specifically for climate professionals. And as we move further into 26, look out for Intact's new trade credit offerings. And finally, the people agenda. With a global headcount now exceeding 31,000 colleagues, you'd expect employee engagement to be high on the agenda. Mercer, the HR consultancy firm, rates Intact as a best sector employer in both Canada and the US, and our people in the UK are already feeling a difference, whether that's through greater empowerment, fewer referrals, development pathways, and a strong value-led approach. The latest UK employee survey just released has seen us enter the top quintile in only 2 years since the Intact investment. So to conclude then, our ambition is to build a 3 billion regional business in the UK, and that by 2030. And I'd say changes in appetite, changes in perspective, product breadth, systems and investments puts us on a really firm pathway to doing just that. Now I'll hand back to Alan Houston, who will host our live Q&A.
Thanks, Steve. And thanks again also to Jack and Alina for walking us through that content this morning. So as I said at the top of the call, there's an opportunity for questions. We've got approximately 10 minutes left to do that. We've got quite a few questions that have already landed. Jack, as a heads up, I'm going to come to you first. But just as a reminder, there's a question box on the screen, so pop your questions in there. If we don't get to all of them, then there's an opportunity for us to follow up. We're going to post an FAQ on our website, but in addition to that, we will encourage you to engage with your regular Intact Insurance contact as well, and we'll hopefully get to the answers to those questions. So, Jack, I've given you the heads up. Quite a few of the questions do relate to our relaunch or launch of our one eTrade proposition. I'm going to group it into two. So one is around who we're backing, software houses versus extranet. And second, can you just talk a little bit more about one price, one proposition?
Yeah, of course. Well, I think the most straightforward answer to which one we're betting on is we're spread betting. So we will distribute exactly the same product across the software houses as we do on the extranet. There'll be the same wording, the same pricing structure in the background. Obviously, we can't compete on the extranet with the convenience of the software house and having a panel of insurers there. So we have to make sure that we add value in other ways by making the journey as slick as we possibly can. So I talked about kind of moving the recent activities and advanced search features to be more prominent. So both of those are our most used features on our extranet, and now they're even more in your face when you log on, so you can get to where you need to go as soon as possible. And we're also kind of got lookups. So we've got Experian lookup on the extranet as well to make it slicker to get customer addresses and to find your customers as you go through quotes. I think this is just the first stage as well. So, initially we are trying to bring two extranets together, and then we're already looking at how can we improve that journey going forward, because we need to add value through the journey in the extranet, so that we can compete with that convenience on the software houses. But like I say, we are spread betting across both of them because we'll be distributing the same product.
Super, thank you, Jack. I may come back to you because there are some other questions, as I said, on from an eTrade perspective. Alina, I'm going to come to you next just to build on some of the things you talked about in terms of what we're doing in claims. Before I do that, and I won't specifically say who's posted the comment, but it did make me smile on a Monday morning. So not a question, just a note. I was a broker in Canada for 10 years, and Intact was one of the best insurers to deal with. They had stellar claims service and great rates. They were always a top choice, and I was excited to see that they're heading to up RSA and NIG. Thank you for that comment. We really want to bring that to the UK as well, and we're desperate to achieve that success here. So, Alina, now that you've had the heads up, can you just expand a little bit? The question specifically is around API and Guidewire and Actuaries, but can you just bring that to life a little bit more, if you wouldn't mind?
Yes, of course, Alan. And I just want to say that comment made me smile as well. And I think it's fair to say, as that person said, stellar claim service is what we're aiming for in the UK as well. We believe that will be a differentiator in the future. And we've already investing heavily in terms of providing that service. You hopefully would have seen improvements already this year, but we have many plans, as I've mentioned earlier, in terms of improving that service even further into next year. So we really want to be the best at claims experience for all of you and our customers. And in terms of the API question, so I'll be honest, we already have an awful lot of API connections from Guidewire into, I guess, from different data sources into Guidewire. So we use that at the moment in the sense of it helps our claims handlers make better decisions. It helps the overall claims experience, and it streamlines that process. However, from a broker point of view, we haven't yet had an example of an API connection into you and your systems. So whilst we do have some, I don't know if you will know about them or whether you will just experience the output of those connections, which is speedier service and more streamlined experience. So I guess if that person has any specific questions around an API, happy to explore. What I would say is, from a broker point of view, we have had some conversations around taking that further, and we constantly invest in Guidewire. So that's not to say that we won't be going there in the future. We haven't had any of those API connections specifically into brokers yet, but probably an area to explore into 2026 and beyond. So any other follow-up or specifics you want to cover, please let me know, and happy to go through that.
Super. Thanks, Alina. Steve, just checking you can hear us. I know there was a slight tech bump, but because there's, if you can, you're still on mute. Yeah, he's struggling with his technology this morning. We'll see if we can resolve that. Jack, I did say I'm going to come back to you, so I'm going to come back to you. So there's a question around, I think it's about building on actually an Actress. So for those not on Actress, when can we expect sign-on links for the new portal?
So next year, the new portal will be launched next year. I don't have an exact date for you yet, but we're working towards that. Will be a comms plan in place in terms of delivering new logons. In the main, it will be the logon that you currently have on the NRG hub, if you've got access to that. If you've got access to RSA Online, but not the hub, then we will provide you with a new logon. But all of that communication will be direct to the user. So you, as the user of that portal, will receive an email saying, this is how you log on to our new portal. Because as you can appreciate, bringing the two extranets together is quite a challenging piece of tech, but we're trying to make it as slick and streamlined as possible for you all.
Super. And
Alan,
just building up,
I have audio.
Right. I'm going to come to you in 1 minute on a farm web question.
Brilliant.
So that I'm teeing you up, which might be our last question actually, because I've got an eye on the clock. Jack, just on that point around next year, there's also a question around the Actress documentation kind of library. Let me just find it again because it jumped off my screen. I'm just trying to find it. Yeah, there is a question around the Actress user here haven't had the policy wordings come through, and then there was a similar question around. Yeah, so could you please resend the Actress document pack as this hasn't been received? Is that something you can pick up, Jack, or what should we take away?
I think we'll have to take that away. So Actress sent those out for us. So anyone with a log on to the Actress system should have received a document pack. I think in the questions, if you drop us an email address or something, if you have not received that, then I think we can probably sort that out for you.
Okay. Super. Thanks, Jack, for that. You're off the hook now. I think you've taken your fair share this morning. Steve, I'll end with you just on. There's a question which has came up in previous webinars actually when we've been as part of the integration program. I think it was last year. So we will see the extension of, or will we see the extension of products such as FarmWeb and extended to all brokers rather than the current restricted NIG acceptance? Can you just maybe expand on what we're doing there?
So FarmWeb was originally devised as a club concept. In reality, we actually built FarmWeb with a small selection of brokers, kind of hand in glove, really. We have expanded that over the years somewhat. Our view is that we should deal with brokers that have teams or in some cases individuals who specifically focus into the agricultural and farm sector. That is how we prefer to approach our broker distribution. That said, as we come under the Intact banner, we're looking at all, from a strategic perspective, we're looking at all products and all access. So right now, it is for teams within brokers that specifically focus on agriculture, but never say never. We are looking at distribution as part of the Intact rebrand. Super.
Thanks, Steve. Okay, look, we are almost at time, so we're going to hold the Q&A for now. We want to make sure we get you back to I guess the day job and don't hold you up. So as I said, you will have more questions. There are some questions we haven't got to this morning, so we will follow that up either via the FAQ, but please also do speak to your day-to-day Intact Insurance contact. I'm going to close where I started, which is, look, we're really determined to deliver the things that mean the most to you, and it all centres around the service that we deliver consistently every day. So please keep that feedback coming, because it is that feedback that we can act on. And finally, look, we don't take your time for granted. So thank you again for joining us this morning. Thank you for your feedback. Please enjoy the rest of your day, and we will speak very soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.